Come make me tell you about the things them way I want, sir. Back in the days when the dancer used to warm, sir. When Clinton Lindsay used to bust them, make them go on, sir. Whole heap of artists Clinton bring come up America. Some never know say Clinton Lindsay.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Now You Know. This is where I tell my stories. This is where I'll tell you things that you may or may not have heard from me in 45 years being on the radio. Again, we want to thank you for your subscriptions. I want to thank you for liking and sharing and spread the word about Now You Know. Now, we're going to take you back to early 1972. I would think between January and February of 1972. At the time, I was living at 61 King Street in Spanish Town. And previously, I was living at 10 Hanover Street. From that time, when I left 10 Hanover Street, moving into King Street, I kept going back to 10 Hanover Street because that's where, I bonded with friends and didn't make a lot of friends down by 61 King Street, but I used to just walk back to Hanover Street. So that's where all my friends were. And this particular morning, I came to Hanover Street and I saw two trucks. They weren't the regular trucks, and it drew my attention because they were parked right across from Anglin's studio, photography studio. And I thought that was kind of strange. Don't remember what was written on the side of the trucks, but they were just two trucks. So I went into my yard and I didn't pay any attention to that, but it was on my mind. I would say about 1 o'clock, lunchtime, came out the yard now and said, we're gonna get some, most likely patty and something. And when I came out, lo and behold, guess who I saw? Jimmy Cliff. Now, Jimmy Cliff was coming between the two trucks. And I'm like, Jimmy Cliff? As someone who always wanted to be in the media, I have these eyes. I'm a stargazer, if you want to call it. People on TV, I don't miss them. And Jimmy Cliff came out and between trucks, right there on Hanover Street. And I'm like, what is Jimmy Cliff doing here? So he came out and he looked up, he looked down, he looked right, he looked left. And then he started walking down the street in his bell-bottom pants and his high-heel boots. And I'm like, wow. So he walked down the street and I was just looking, I'm like, something is happening. He walked down the street, came back up, and just as he came back up to go back into Anglin Photography Studio, that comedian, Bim Clover, I think they call him Bim, I saw him too. He came out and he and Jimmy Cliff exchanged little words. I was standing no more than maybe 10 feet on the other side. Spanish Town, the roads are one car go, one car. And so I was just watching these two people that in my eyes were celebrities. I'm saying to myself, something is happening over by Mr. Anglin's studio. I watched them till they went back in, and then I went to get my lunch. By the time I came back, the truck was just about to drive off. I had no idea what was that about. I didn't want to go over there and ask Mr. Anglin, because in those days, you don't question an adult like that. And all forgotten. By June of 1972, the big announcement that Jamaica's first full-length movie will be opening in June, July of 1972. Like all of us in Jamaica, it was a proud moment, and I wanted to personally see this movie. In Spanish Town, there were two theaters at the time. One was Crystal. Now, Christian was the roofless, no roof. You just go in, you sit and you could see the stars above. And I like that one because, on a good night, you see the moon, the stars, and you watch a movie. There was another theater by the name of Astor, and Astor was closed. That's where they keep all the concerts and so on. And in every major theater, in every capital of Jamaica, Montego Bay, Mandeville, Moran Point, every capital that had a theater simultaneously was showing The Harder They Come. In Spanish Town, I went to Crystal. And while watching that movie, you see the opening with the bus, going on the country road and all of that. And I'm there watching it. Lo and behold, the scene where Jimmy Cliff now became a bad guy and he was sending pictures all over the media and to the police. That picture where Jimmy Cliff with his 2 guns in his hands, the cap, the vest, the bell-bottom pants, and the big shoes, high heel shoes. That scene was what I saw months earlier. And when, if you remember in the movie, when he was there posing with the guns and going all across the stage and with the gun, the comedian, Bim Clover, he came in and said, "Oh, that? Not the man with the Ivan, no." That was done right there at Angling Studio in Spanish Town. That was what I saw. Well, I didn't see the actual shooting, but that was what Jimmy Cliff and Bim Clover were doing. And I was like, all excited. I was like, my best friend and I went. And I was, Leroy. That's what they were doing, because nobody knew what Jimmy Cliff and the crew were doing that day. And, I was telling my friend Leroy that was what was happening. In addition, that's not the only scene in Spanish Town. I figure they left early that day and they went. When you're coming into Spanish Town, there's that new bridge, and just approaching the hospital. On the left-hand side, going into Spanish Town, there was a little hill. And the scene where Jimmy Cliff was running down the hill on a bicycle, that was also Spanish Town. That was Spanish Town. I mean, I was all excited. I was all excited to see Spanish Town being represented in the movie. But that's not all. If you remember the scene when he was riding on the bike with that Rasta man, and they passed Ferry Police Station and the police kind of waved them, that was not in Spanish Town, but that was still in St. Catherine. That was out by the Ferry Police Station. There were 3 scenes in The Harder They Come that I recognize as part of Spanish Town. So because of that now, remember I told you the movie was in every parish, every theater in Jamaica simultaneously. It ran in Spanish Town for 7 days. 7 days. And me, Leroy, and all our friends, because of the fact that, we saw Spanish Town in it, scenes from Spanish Town, I went 7 nights. By the 5th night, I could rehearse every line in that movie. By the fifth night, I could tell you everything that was gonna come out of the mouths of the actors. I walked into history. This June 2022, The Harder They Come will celebrate its 50th anniversary. I was right there. I walked into history. I had no idea what was happening over there by Mr. Angling's studio. I know. Now you know. Thank you very much for watching, and spread the word. And again, click and subscribe and let people know of this series. Now you know. Until next time, take care.
And Lindsay a promoter. Bring up the biggest set of artists from Jamaica. Like Super Cat and Mr. Early be the doctor. Only for artists, no for them me can't remember. Who can remember when them used to keep Jamaica? The kind of show that used to give out no for water. To reggae artists.